So I get the task of wrapping up everything you've heard in a nice little bow. So here you go. I was discussing with Jesper backstage how to do this, and we concluded the only way to do this after this long day is pretty much to say, wow, a lot of really good ideas. Guess we're going to go do stuff. So, you know, when I think about what we've heard today, the temptation in a long day like this is to sort of let it blend together and think about it in your own way, which is exactly the point, and also the danger that you might dismiss any of the little pieces. I want to start by saying thank you before I get to sort of the closing thoughts. A number of people helped make this conference happen, and Bruce, of course, was hugely important. But so is Ellen Oakes, who works at Brookings, and without her, we would not be here. So we sort of had like two mad curators for this who put together the ideas and the speakers and made sure everybody delivered and on time. And so Ellen is on one end of the room, and John Manisheri is on the other end of the room. John, you did a phenomenal job too. Thank you very much. And I mean mad in like the best possible sense of like wildly creative and energetic, and we're just so grateful. My assistant, Donna Evans-Sebastian, phenomenal. You know, putting together a conference like this is hard work. Donna put herself into the hospital over this. It was, she just pushed herself so hard to make it perfect. So we're very grateful to her, and it's really not a job requirement, I promise. Bruce, I've mentioned, Reed Agnew and Shirley Saldemarco, who have been in charge of the production for this day. You know, I never thought when we got the crazy idea of putting the conference in this room that it would be difficult to see a screen. And the team ended up having to computer model how sunlight would perform during the, so we ended up having to position a screen that you could actually see given the sunshine that we kind of sort of had. So an amazing amount of effort to make this place work, but I can't imagine a better place to have had this conversation. I want to thank the mayor and your staff who have been phenomenal throughout this. Really, in particular, Ray Gastel and Deborah Lamb and Lee Halverson and Matt Barron. Phenomenal job. Thank you to them. Our steering committee, who contributed so much in terms of the thinking as to what we should touch on, what should be included. The art of this is trying to get right what all that input adds up to. And I'm just so grateful for the input that they gave us. Our foundation colleagues who are in the room from other foundations who are doing this work and pushing Pittsburgh forward, our nonprofit colleagues, everybody in the room for being here, thank you. And of course, the rest of the staff at the Heinz Endowments, I just want to say thank you so very, very much for the work you do every day. So let's think about for a moment what we've heard. And you know, there's no time, and you're exhausted, and you probably want to go have a drink and break for the day. For me to go over every single speaker, I'm not going to do that. But I am going to try to leave you with sort of what I heard. And it would be easy to walk away from this and say, well, it was a conference about sustainability, or it was a conference about innovation, or it was a conference about green stuff. I've heard all of those things said. And the answer to that is yes, it was all of those things. When I came to Pittsburgh in the 20 years since, I've heard a lot of can'ts about what's not possible in Pittsburgh. So I actually thought about coming out here and beginning by saying, you know, you cannot get people to go to a red light district for culture. That's an odd one. Think about that one. You can't rejuvenate a downtown using the arts. You can't have green building in a city once known as hell with the lid off. You can't do anything creative with a convention center. You can't afford design excellence in a Rust Belt city. You can't get young people to stay here. You can't get young people to come here. You can't get young people to start restaurants here. You can't get young people to start businesses here. You can't get Pittsburghers to cross the rivers, let alone care about the rivers. You can't get Pittsburghers to live in downtown. You can't get them to live in the city. People want to live in the suburbs. You can't change City Hall. You can't get City Hall to hire based on excellence rather than patronage. So in the 20 years since I've been in Pittsburgh, people in this room, organizations in this room, refused to believe the can'ts. Every single speaker that we heard today was about creating a new narrative of what is possible and what we can do. And what I want to say to Pittsburgh is, and what I hope you will take away as the message of what you heard today, is enough with the can'ts, enough with the naysayers. Because if you listen to Angela Glover Blackwell, if you listen to Kai from Big, if you listen to everybody, I don't want to start singling, now I'm already in trouble, see? But if you listen to these folks, what they're saying is, in other places that are not different from Pittsburgh in the end, what they're working on is proving that it is possible to have a city that focuses on creativity, on sustainability, on entrepreneurism, on equity, on creating a place for everyone, not just the privileged few, on proving that you can have excellence and efficiency. By the way, that was Kai's notion of hedonistic sustainability, was simply the idea that when you do things right, people actually want to live there and want to participate there and will migrate there. So in these places, we're seeing that it's possible to create cities that are walkable, bikeable, that attract entrepreneurs, that are creative, and that above all are willing to take risks, and that above all are willing to stop listening to the naysayers. There are two voices out there in our town, and I sort of hesitate to admit this in front of our Nordic visitors, but there's one set of voices that is saying, we can't do it, we can't do it, we can't afford it, it isn't us, and then there's you. So go be you, and let's prove them wrong. Thank you.